Hello and welcome back. My name is Katie and today I am doing the Simsie Peppa Shell Challenge. If you don't know what a shell challenge is, it's essentially a challenge in The Sims where you take a pre-made box, as you can see here, and you turn it into something. This is lilsimsie's shell challenge that she called the Peppa Shell because it is shaped like a pig. But yeah, I'm just starting by trying to roof it. I think that's the hardest part of shell challenges because they have all these weird bump outs and things, and you're gonna see me really struggle with this. Really struggle. I am not a super good builder. I would say I am a passable builder, but we're really trying some things out here. I really like shell challenges because they push you to be creative, to think outside of the box, and I often find when I'm building that making the shell of the building is my least favorite part, and so being able to start with something else that someone else has created makes it a lot easier for me, even though this is a particularly difficult shell. It's got some weird things. As you can see, there's like this bump out over on the right side there that I'm trying to offset with a column on the left side. But my overall goal is just to build a little family home. It's the stuff I'm the most comfortable doing, and it's something that I felt like I could do. Oh, my cat has joined the chat. Yeah, so just going through picking some siding right now, and you'll see a lot in this that I go back and forth on decisions I've already made. That's just the kind of builder I am. I don't stick to my convictions very easily when it comes to my Sims builds, and I try a lot of different stuff and not all of it sticks, but don't worry, in the end I will do a little bit of like a tour screenshot-y thing so we can kind of get the full picture. But I thought while we were watching this speed build together, I could tell you a little bit about myself. I've been posting videos for about a month now and I haven't really gotten to share much about me or why I started making videos. So I love The Sims 4, and I've only ever played The Sims 4. I have not played any other Sims game. But I got into The Sims in college when The Sims was temporarily free. The Sims 4 base game is permanently free now, but at the time it was like a temporary free sale. It must have been for one of the anniversaries or something. So I downloaded it and have been obsessed ever since. You can see me really struggling with the floor plan here also. By the way, floor plans are not always my strong suit, and again, this is a very weirdly shaped shell. I really wanted to tuck the stairs into one of those like little corners, and was really struggling. I didn't cut anything out of this, I just sped it up, so this is all like the actual full footage of me building this. I think it took me like 2.5, 3 hours ish. Again, not a very fast builder, but yeah, I used to watch a lot of YouTubers who played video games and stumbled upon, I think the first thing I must have saw was the 100 Baby Challenge by Kelsey and Peach K, because I watched a lot of BuzzFeed video back in the day, and then YouTube started recommending me lilsimsie, and it was game over. I love The Sims now, and I've spent probably far too much money on this game. I don't own everything. I don't own Batu because I have no desire to play with Batu. I'm not a Star Wars person. I've never really seen it. I don't own luxury party stuff because I think that it's not worth the money compared to the newer stuff packs. And then I don't own Horse Ranch or Enchanted by Nature, the fairy pack. Took me a minute to remember what it's called. But yeah, other than that, I own all of the expansion game and stuff packs, and then I own some of the kits, and you can see some of the kits in this build. The Book Nook kit, kitchen clutter kit. I think like there's some other clutter kits in here. I really like the clutter kits. But as far as Horse Ranch goes, I do want to buy a Horse Ranch. I just don't want to pay full price. Because I don't need horses. I don't envision myself playing with horses very often, but I do love the build, buy, and CAS that comes with Horse Ranch, so I would like to have it eventually. But I'm currently not purchasing any new Sims content in solidarity with the EA boycott. If you don't know about the EA sale and that whole situation, I encourage you to look it up, do some research. I'm not going to be able to describe it well enough here, but I won't be purchasing any new content if the sale goes through, which is kind of disappointing because I would like to have Horse Ranch someday. The fairy pack, I don't need fairies, which is so crazy because I do have all the other occult packs and I really do like playing with them. I don't play with occults that often, but I recently completed the Rochelle's Llamas and Legends Legacy Challenge, and I had so much fun with that and playing with occults and the occult systems, but fairies just don't interest me. I don't know if it's the way they did fairies or if I just am not interested in fairies. And it's kind of disappointing that it is an expansion pack with an occult and it's Enchanted by Nature, but there's like no nature. Like there's the house plants, but those were super buggy, and there was like no new like decorative plants really, and like it just doesn't feel very naturey. And then I also I don't want to deal with ailments or luck, and it just was not calling to me personally. And I just don't need fairies. I don't know. But speaking of legacy challenges, I did complete recently Llamas and Legends, which was really fun. If you are at all into fantasy or D&D, you should play it, and also if you're a big legacy challenge person, you should play it. It was really fun and I had a great time, and I might do it again because the way it's set up, there's 2 options for each generation, so there's like literally 100 different ways to play it. But I've also completed the Not So Very Legacy Challenge. And I think it's important to note that I've completed both of these legacy challenges on short lifespan. I would always have a hard time finishing legacy challenges, and when I switched to playing on short lifespan, it became so much easier for me, and I've never had a hard time completing the goals in a short lifespan. The only one I had a hard time with recently is I've been doing Very Veggie Legacy Challenge, also by lilsimsie, and there's one where you have to go to university, and so I did pause that generation's aging for just 1 week so that they wouldn't die before they had kids. But other than that, I think short lifespan is plenty of time, actually. But yeah, I'm halfway through that one, and I do want to talk about the build again real quick because this kids room was really fun to make. That rug is from Parenthood, and I don't get to use it a lot, and I got to use the Dream Home Decorator bunk beds, which was fun, and it was just really colorful. And I like that this house is kind of like a very refined, almost like an earth tone minimalism in a lot of places, but the kids room is still really fun and colorful because that is real life. I also put some toy clutter down in the living room later that I think is just like more realistic. I don't super like realistic focus on houses being realistic, but I do like them to at least look a little bit real and like someone could live there. But I had a really good time with that kids room, really getting into like mix and match the different kids' furniture in this game. Yeah, I also thought I would talk a little bit about like my Sims preferences. So we talked about the packs and stuff, but I also want to talk about, am I a builder? Am I a cast person? Am I gameplay? And I think if you looked at my channel, it's pretty obvious I am a gameplay girly, but I do really like building and I do really like making Sims. And so I do think that I'm like a well-rounded person. I love playing legacy challenges and then redoing my Sims as they age up and redoing their houses as things change. It's just like a really organic way for me to play, and I find it really fun. And right now I'm playing my short legacy challenge, which is on my channel. You could check out the playlist. And I'm also playing the Very Veggie Legacy Challenge, like I said. So that's kind of what I'm doing in my personal off-camera save. I also would really like to maybe start another one. I just like having 3 going at once. I can't help it. But we'll see. I've recently been very obsessed with Baldur's Gate, and I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, which has led there to be less time for me to play Sims. I also very recently have gotten super into Animal Crossing. Everyone's into it now because of the new update, but I had never played it prior to this past week. I purchased it for the first time and I'm having a lot of fun with that. Again, it's like a cozy game. One thing I like about Animal Crossing is it doesn't feel as stressful to me as playing a game like Stardew Valley, which I also love, and I've played a lot of Stardew Valley in my life. But because the days continue to move in time, like time progresses faster, you have to do things so much faster and like optimize your days and optimize your farming and like all this stuff. Whereas because Animal Crossing is real time, you literally could spend 24 hours doing something in a day, and it just like is easier to progress that way, at least for me personally. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. It would be fun to have like a YouTube series doing Animal Crossing, but I have a Switch Lite and you can't game capture a Switch Lite, so you will have to just hear about my Animal Crossing from me. My starting villagers, oh gosh, can I even remember their names? No, I can't. I'll look them up and maybe in another speed build we'll talk about that. But I also wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite Simmers to watch, favorite types of Sims videos to watch, because that is what inspired me to make Sims content. I just really love consuming it and I need more creative outlets, and I was like, what if I just started posting? And I thought about it for a long time and then just decided this year, I was like, well, let's just do it, you know? My favorite Sims YouTuber is lilsimsie. She's the first person I really watched like religiously play The Sims, and I just think she has a very similar play style as I do. Her Short Lifespan Legacy is what inspired me to do my Short Lifespan Legacy series. I really love the chaos of that. I also love her streams and the chaos that goes on over there, and I just find her content very comforting. She's definitely a comfort creator for me, and so huge love to lilsimsie. This is her shell challenge, so you know, big love to her. And then I also watch a lot of James Turner. His gameplay is just so unique to what other people do. Like, I just really love what he's able to do, and the different like challenges he does, and the big wallet family, and it's just really unique and really fun to watch. I also love watching him build because he takes into account realism a lot in his builds, which is something that, like I said, I'm not like huge on, but it's really cool to see someone make realistic stuff in the game. I also love Deligracy. What I really love is when Deligracy makes just like the most insane builds I've ever seen in my life, because I don't have those types of building skills. I'm also a big Rochella fan. Rochella, also, I love her streams. I think her streams are like really comforting content for me also. I just like such a comfort creator for me as well. I don't know, I just truly I love them all. I love Ocean Sims. I think Ocean Sims gameplay is so detailed and the stories she tells are so incredible, and also she has the most comforting voice. Like, her videos are so relaxing to me. I think what I'm saying is that I find Sims content very relaxing. It's like a way for me to unwind after a long work day or something. I do work full time, 8 to 5. I have a normal person job, but I do have every other Friday off because of a weird contract thing, and that's when I started making videos. I like had these days off and I was like, what if I just recorded stuff? So hopefully my plan is to continue to post my Short Lifespan Legacy every Sunday and post other content on Wednesdays. My Baldur's Gate series will be, I think, every other week, as long as I'm still having fun and people want to see it. I don't know. And then other videos like this on the other Wednesdays. And yeah, you can see here I'm putting the toy box and the toys out just because I think it's fun to be like, there are kids who live here and they would probably play in the living room while their parents are watching TV. One thing I really struggled with in this house was curtains. And I ended up doing the blinds from My First Pet stuff and sizing them down because then they kind of look like built-in blinds, which is fun. And I don't play with any spilled CC at all. It's not that I don't love it, I do, but my computer can only handle so much. And I get overwhelmed, honestly, by build CC. Like, trying to find it, download it, using it, like, is a lot to me. I don't use a lot of CAS CC. I have some CAS CC for the Llamas and Legends Legacy Challenge that I did. That was like tiefling tails and horns and stuff like that, to really build in the D&D world. But I think I'm going to be taking that out of my game now that I'm done with that Legacy Challenge. And then I have the Kajiko Remove EA Eyelashes custom content. I used to use the Kajiko lashes on my Sims, and then the Sims came out with lashes, and I would just much rather use the lashes that are in-game than try to find CC lashes and update them constantly. And then for mods, I only use MC Command Center and UI cheats, but I refuse to play without them. They are a core part of my whole experience, and really making my game more customizable to what I like. I have played with other mods before, but I think I get overwhelmed. I just like The Sims the way it is, honestly. It just, the Sims team kind of knew what they were doing for the most part. But yeah, I'm cluttering up this built-in wardrobe situation, which I don't do a lot from Dream Home Decorator, because when you play in a house with a Dream Home Decorator setup like this, all the stuff on the shelves goes into your inventory every time you go into live mode. I don't know if they fixed that, but it always happened, and so I just don't do it when I'm playing with my Sims. But this was just a build for the sake of building, so I felt no remorse putting all this clutter in these shelves. And we actually have like a decent amount of wardrobe clutter now. We have the hanging clothes from high school years and businesses and hobbies and Dream Home Decorator, maybe some other packs. We have like the jewelry from Crystal Creations. We have the clutter from the Everyday Clutter Kit. There's just like a lot more stuff that you can put that actually looks like it belongs in a wardrobe now. And that's the thing I feel like they've done the best of recently in The Sims, is adding clutter and adding more items to fill up the house, so it's not the same objects every time over and over and over again. And yeah, I used that green check wall pattern on that left back wall there of this bedroom, which I've never used, I don't think, in a build, and that's from Businesses and Hobbies, and I really like, whoa, that was a really fast spin, sorry everyone. I have this sped up pretty fast because, again, it took me a really long time. But you can see, I mean, look how slow this decision making is in 6 times speed. Imagine it in real speed, it would have been painstaking. But yeah, I had a fun time decorating this house, thinking about the people who might live here. And I probably won't ever use this build because I don't ever use the Shell Challenge builds I use for like real gameplay because they're weird, they're strange, and that's kind of the point. I really love the house plants that have been added in the last like 2 years into this game, and so I tried to add houseplants to this house. I have a hard time sometimes adding houseplants and like thinking about where they would make sense, but I think I put them in places that make sense in this house. And I went for this, like I said, kind of like a almost earth tone minimalism. We've got this like green color scheme with the beige and light wood tones and white walls, but I did love having the fridge again with the magnets and the kids paintings and stuff, because again, I just feel like if you have these 2 kids, you're gonna have kids stuff in your house. And like that kids board from, I think, kids room stuff pack over on that right wall, and I think it was, you know, I'm just going around see if I can put any more clutter, and then I decide I should probably do the outside, which is my least favorite part of any Sims build. I don't think I'm very good at landscaping, and I don't think I'm very good at the outside of houses. I think my interior decorating skills are better than my exterior decorating skills, but I've been working on it. I've been trying to force myself to actually landscape because I used to just never landscape and call it a day. But I figured if I'm gonna do a whole speed build of the shell, I should probably landscape a little bit. So I decided to do a little back patio and yard situation, and then I decided I should build a playground with the new Adventure Awaits stuff. I love the playground pieces that come in Adventure Awaits, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make a playground. And the playground pieces are big, so I did have to resize the backyard multiple times throughout this build because it's just a lot of stuff, but I really love it. I think it's really fun. Also, it is a good space taker upper if you are not a landscapey person like me, but I eventually get it to where I like it and kind of set it up back there. Also, it came in that beautiful green and white light wood color, and I got a little picnic table back here for them to enjoy. And we were past that part, but on the like back covered deck area I did put like an outdoor grill kitchen setup, which you'll be able to see more when I do kind of the end walkthrough and things like that. But I love all this pausing. Who knows why I was pausing. I did add planters. I feel like every Sims house needs a planter box. I don't know. I'm always planting stuff in my Sims games, truthfully. And yeah, I'm really liking the way the furnishing came out, and I was like, we gotta just tough it out and head into the landscaping. And I did use a lot of debug for landscaping. I'm not usually a big debug person because I don't have the patience to dig through debug, and I know I could get the better build by mod, but I just don't want to have another mod to have to update, and I'm just kind of stubborn and I don't really want to. But I decided to go with some yellow flowers. I thought the yellow flowers looked really pretty with the kind of sage green house, and added a little bit of a pop of color. That was kind of nice. And you can see me just have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to the landscaping, but I do feel pretty good overall about how the house looks. I think it doesn't look super shell challengey. The pillar in the front thing is kind of interesting, and I did cover it up with a tree. But other than that, I think that the house actually looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with the end result. And yeah, now you can see me scrolling through debug, which is like a terrifying process. And I usually just go in the base game debug because this is in Newcrest right now, and so everything will be in the base game debug. And I'm also stubborn, and I refuse to take the foundation off my houses just to landscape to then put the foundation and the stairs back on. It's just like too much. I don't want to deal with that. So you can see I just do my best to slide things back there. And I found these other yellow flowers from debug that I think really kind of accented, and did some terrain painting. I personally feel like I'm not the best at terrain paint, but it's, I don't know, the Sims 4 terrain paint tools are interesting, and they're not super easy to paint with, but I do like to put terrain paint underneath the houses just so that they look a little more lived in. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire speed build, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it, and subscribe so you can see more Sims content, and stay tuned for the little walkthrough.